Just continue.
Like I did say, I'm a student, I'm a scholar of environmental management and control, but I have a passion for the literary world, which has found an expression in what I now do here. So I manage the day-to-day running of the radio house. But more importantly, I have a very strong passion for young people, and every chance I have, I'm always on a platform talking to them on how they can have a blueprint and follow through so that they get where they need to get. Because the bottom line is, if we don't handle our youth right, we're not going to have a posterity to depend on. And so today we're looking
Absolutely.
at the safety. We're looking at their safety in the various spaces that we'll be looking at. And first of all, one of the things that I do when I have to talk like this is to begin with the definition of basic concepts. What do we mean by safe? Safe space. You know, many authorities have different ways of defining safe space. Is a place where you're out of danger, is a place where you're out of threat, is a place where you're not exposed to risk, is a place where you're respected, you're not being bullied, you're not being judged, and is a place of criticism for the youth, is a place where they will dare to take off the mask and dare to be vulnerable and still speak the truth. You know, many years ago, before the millennium, safe space meant the home, the school, the church, recreational places, and public offices. And in that season, you only needed like a CCTV camera if there was a threat anywhere to say this place is possibly not very safe. So, but there were also all kinds of supporting authorities that ensured that there was law and order. Before the millennium happened, the famous Y2K, television in Nigeria meant Nigerian Television Authority. Telephone equally meant landlines hooked up to the Nitel network. There were no cell phones, there were no tablets, and the Android technology was not there. And what it meant was that children built their world from literary works. They read novels, whether fiction, non-fiction. And sometimes they try to place themselves in the characters that they like or admire more in the expose. There were amusement parks in Enugu here. We know about the Murtala Mohammed Park, the Ngo Park, the one in New Haven, and the one in Co-Camp, which, from what I gather now, have all been destroyed and reclaimed. So my question to young people today is, you know, we are canvassing that they are not too young to run, but you must place yourself in a place where you are safe in order for you to even rear your head. Because until that happens, all those things are lip service. So where do you feel the safest? Is it at home? Is it in the school? Is it in the church? Is it in your community? Is it in your virtual world? Is it when you're alone? Is it with family? Is it with friends? And the question is where? You know, not too long ago, sometime last year, we had what we called family meeting. That was from Soul Sisters, a program I anchor every Sunday, targeting the youth, their issues, and their problems. So part of the reason we did that was that we found out that families are no longer talking to us. The kind of, because again, we were trying to mimic a safe space where the children could come and tell us what they figured was the problem. Some of the things happening were happening. And we were dumbfounded. I recall that in that meeting, one of the young girls had gotten up and said, she enumerated all the bad things her father did to her that she felt was limiting her ability to be who she wanted to be. And then suddenly she said that she's glad that the man had died and may he rest in pieces. So when somebody is saying rest in pieces, it means that she's still hurting. And so we had to bring her in. People who are still like that, the home is not safe, the society is not safe, the significant others, they don't feel safe. To whip them into shape. I'm not sure I agree with that. They are scared of the injunction, woe to the one who causes the least of these small ones to stumble. They are afraid of sparing the rod, like we hear all the time, and spoiling the child. One of the fallouts of this, the two editions that we've had so far on family meeting, was that we realized that family members don't talk anymore. That's even where the problem starts. They get home at the end of the day, everybody is talking to the Android gadget. They're either holding their iPads or they're holding their Android phones. They are moving from one platform to another. They're either sending WhatsApp messages or they're surfing the web. And so some even go ahead to go to YouTube, watch video clips. Cable television is also one of their favorite pastimes. Fast food. So I remember growing up and we used to have fun helping my mother out with small chores in the kitchen. Somebody is cutting onions, somebody is cutting vegetables, somebody is peeling yam or potato, somebody is frying plantain. So, and everybody did something and it was fun. And it gave us good time to chill with one another. Social media and the internet has become a very addictive pastime. I don't know, maybe the same way we treat drug addicts, we need to begin to have a program for social media and internet addicts. What are the attributes? What are the things you see when we say that a place is safe? Whether we're in a real or virtual world, a safe space must have these attributes. There should be respect. If somebody is talking down on you because of your color, because of your tribe, because of your gender, that place is not safe. Sometimes they bully you into accepting that you're not good enough. It must be a place where you're listened to. It must be a place where people are real. It must be a place where you're not being judged by a significant other or whoever is in your sphere of influence. It must be a place where it's easy for you to be open. It must be a place where there is peace. Everybody is aware of what is happening in the northeastern part of Nigeria. That is fast coming down towards the the middle belt. Every day we hear that herdsmen did this in Kogi or Benue or something. And even now, somebody has told me not to ever go by road through Abuja for now because of the fear that something will go wrong. It must be somewhere you find relaxing. It must be a place where there is no pressure. It must be a place where you walk at your own pace. you're not under any compulsion to be like who you don't want to be. And so that brings us to the internet generation. Funny enough, a lot of us don't realize that social media has been here for only a couple of decades. But it now seems like it's been there forever. I didn't grow up with social media. I grew up with a NITEL kind of telephone. And we all used to own telephone books, where you recorded all your contacts with pen. And some of them we memorized. The numbers we call often, we knew by heart. And then we used to do letter writing, not emails. So all of this started in 1997 with a group called 6 Degrees. And their own effort lasted till year 2001. It was followed by blogging and instant messaging. We started then with American Online. By Y2K, year 2000, internet was everywhere. And over 100 million people had access to the net, using it to chat, using it to shop, and even date. It became the norm and grew in epidemic proportions. In 2003, MySpace came on. LinkedIn joined them, but LinkedIn was tailored towards professionals that wanted to network. In 2005, Facebook came on board. Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook for Harvard students. He saw the potentials and then he released it to the world. Today, the rest is history. We are on Facebook Live. Forty characters. And as we speak, it has over 500 million users. Now, go forward a little bit. 2010 and up, the Instagram is there, Imo is there, Snapchat, WhatsApp, and counting. The biggest night. But in this virtual world, you have lost your control as a parent. Now, the question is, who is likely to be hooked online? In most countries, people aged between 18 to 36 are usually the victims. They use the internet for about everything. They use it for fashion trends. They use it for life tips. They use it for banking. They use it for dating. They use it to source service provision. They can virtually not live without the social media. Now, the Android phone has further exacerbated the phenomenon. And today, there is no more fuss around modems to get hooked online. You just buy a particular data plan that serves your needs, and you're good to go. And that means that kids can even use their pocket money to buy this data plan. They can save up out of what you give them and have access to the world. Gadgets are becoming more affordable. Yes, today it is iPhone this, iPhone that, but there are other gadgets, there are other phones or tablets that have almost all the functions of the expensive one, and people invest in them. In the analog world, for instance, CCTV cameras were installed in homes, public places, and schools, churches. There were law enforcement agents to maintain order. We also had the extended family system that made it imperative for everybody to be the brother's keeper. We had bylaws guiding our behavior. We had the age grade system, the hormonal system. We had tradition, we had norms. We had things that we called abomination. But in the virtual world, things have changed. So the question on everybody's lips now is save kids worldwide. How do we achieve this? Can the youth be safe in a virtual world? That's the question all of us are asking. So much is happening, because of the limitless opportunity that children have and the access they have. From where I sit as a parent, there should be a measure of control by parents and guardians. There should be regular interface between parents and the kids. You must find a way of relating to your children. You must find a way of joining them in their virtual world. I did not say go and spy on them or go and steal their password and go behind their backs to go look at what they're doing. No. There's a way you ask nicely, and that which makes them children, they will show you what they're doing. They will show you what they're watching. So, and as they do that, if there are areas to redirect, that is when to start. Don't ever spy on your children. Don't ever make them feel like you don't trust them. Because the moment they bottle in, the moment they shut up, they are talking to somebody. And the question is, who are they talking to? What kind of influence would that person have on them? Please check out who the virtual friends are, if need be. Look at the kind of content that the virtual environment is offering them, whether we like it or not. It is our place, up to a point, to set boundaries. Check out what they do. Place restrictions. A situation where, starting even from something as obvious as the cable television, why would you allow little kids watch movies where the language and the activities are not age appropriate for them? That is where it starts. They become, because these children, their minds are their imagination, very fertile. And so, when it is not fed with the right material, it is going to be fed with junk. And so, that is where the restriction should start. Cartoon does not mean appropriate. That's what a lot of parents still don't realize. Oh, he's watching cartoon. She's watching cartoon. Have you ever listened to the conversation going on amongst the cartoon characters? Are they age appropriate? Some of them are very sexually explicit. Some of them, there are words and expressions that these children do not understand. And it is our place to begin to save them from those materials till they're old enough to pick that information and understand it. Parents, I appeal that you play a very supportive role. Have routine conversation with these children. Whether we like it or not, we are spending so much time in the things that do not matter. There must be a regular interface between parents and children on how they can maximally utilize the virtual world and make the best of it. We are currently celebrating a group of young girls from Anambra State who came first in some techno innovation competition. And from what I gather, it was social media related. But they were able to articulate something that will serve generations, that will leave their names in a patent even when they have grown beyond that stage. That is what I need us to do more of. We don't have to continue to allow these kids go to learn how to commit suicide. A friend of mine lost her son a couple of years ago, and the guy was an undergraduate, very brilliant, so smart, and He used helium gas to kill himself. And at the level where he was, even professionals in the field, not many of them knew that helium gas was capable of doing what it did. But this boy must have been surfing the net, the easiest way to kill yourself. And he found that material. And he went and bought helium gas. Helium gas you could buy anywhere. It's a gas they use for inflating balloons. And then he bought several of them, released it in his room, and the rest they say history. He died, and the corpse was brought down to Nigeria for burial. So there are many such things. Some of them are joining terrorist groups without knowing it, because some adults who are on the other side of the law are looking for recruits. And those fertile minds, they begin to tell them little stories like that. And before you know it, they become various phases of Osama bin Laden. I also have a friend who had a bad experience with her young daughter who was under 10. Somebody was her friend on Facebook with a baby on his profile photograph. But unknown to the young girl, the guy was a grown-up man and was a documented pedophile. And this girl, being the child she was, kept giving her information of what was happening in the family, including that the mother was getting ready to come to Nigeria. And this fellow began to walk towards having them meet at a park the same day the mother was leaving for Nigeria. So by the time she got to the park, she realized that her friend was an adult, a man in his 30s or 40s. And your guess is as good as mine. He violated the 10-year-old girl. But because this happened in a country where records were kept, his semen was, checked out, and he matched that of a known pedophile. But guess what?
Wow.
The mother was in pain. The child was in pain. The guy had been in and out of jail. And so nobody needs the world. It's beautiful. There are many things they can do there. There are some sites that will give them information when they have projects to run. There are sites that, that they can go to and be ahead of some of their peers. Today, that girl is still in psychotherapy because she's a teenager now, but she's still not able to cope with the pains of what she experienced that day. And it happens all the time. See, Nigeria had better start getting involved. It's not enough to keep berating this case. I hear all kinds of, terminologies used in describing the current generation. People call them the egocentric ones. Some say they're an over-entitled generation waiting for their parents to die to inherit. Some say that they're spoiled, they are no good. But I have news for all of you today. You are much better than that. If Obama could, in a country where white supremacy was everything, I don't know why any young person anywhere will think and have the word "I can't" in their dictionary. Has to get involved. Twitter and Facebook got banned in Iran. I'm not saying it's 2009. Facebook remains blocked even in China. Apple has heavily modified their app stores to fit the Chinese censorship. Countries like Syria, North Korea, Iran, they've all blocked the use of Facebook, Twitter, and Wikipedia. My question is, what are we waiting for? We need to save our posterity. This is the only world we have for them. And it is our place to ensure that it is safe. It is our place to ensure that they have the right company. Last time we were talking about mentorship. And the reason that we're talking about mentorship is that we are aware that some parents are also not the gold standard. And so when a child sees that he or she has parents who are not it, they can look at another adult and begin to adopt the lifestyle that they have. The time for us to wake up is now. Digital safety, digital world, you must be safe operating in it. Physical world, you must also be safe operating in it. 2019 is an election year. We have all these political leaders, everybody having all kinds of meetings now. They are going to recruit young people to go and die for them. The last time I checked, the only person who died for nothing was Christ. And the last time I checked, there was still only one Christ in creation. So why do you want to die for nothing? His family is safe, tucked away in some first world country. His children are attending Ivy League schools. And men, they want to make you akbobi, like we call them here. And you're saying yes. They want you to go and die for them, for their sake. They want you to go and stand and take the bullet for them. There are better things they can do with you. One of the things they can do with you is to harness your intellectual property. And one of the ways for you to have one is to begin to learn to walk outside of the box. Think outside of the box. As they are preparing now, use the social media to offer them strategies for getting to the people who are going to cast votes. Use the social media to figure out some kind of research and say this is what is likely to happen. That is what you ought to be doing. That if you do this, this is likely going to be the outcome. Use social media for good, not for evil. Use social media to enhance who you are. Use social media and the virtual world to stand like an eagle. Don't be the social media virtual world kind of youth. Why do you want a chicken mentality? Cut out of the chicken mentality. The virtual world can give you an eagle mentality. And when the virtual world offers you, trust me, that world will be. In that world, you're going to be a statement in your generation. And might even get better than that. Thank you very much.